Okay, if you're thinking of doing the project with the high score table, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to run this query. I've created another table in here called high score, and I've entered some scores in, IDs, the name of the player from the previous users table, because that's the only people that should be in here. A relational database would ensure that that is the case. However, because this is not relational, I could actually put a name in that doesn't exist in the users table, and that would be pretty bad. And then the scores. Now, please notice they're not in any sort of order, and that's what we're going to sort of take a look at now. So I said in the previous video that order should not appear in the exam because it was not on the specification. However, I can't guarantee that, but it is one of those nice little functions that just is easy to use and might be there. So I'm going to show you how to do that one. So this is a high score table, and it's been established just that the first person who played got 200, then second person who played got 230, then the third. So there was no order as to the information that went in, but we can order it. So if I type order by score, if I have it ascending, that is from the lowest to the highest, run that query, and there we go, we've got the lowest to the highest, which isn't brilliant. It's not what we want. We want the high score being at the top. So instead of ordering it ascending, I would order it in a descending fashion. And there we go. So I've now got all of my high score table in order. The one who's got the highest score is at the top, the one who's got the lowest score is at the bottom. Now in the project, it's asking you to return the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that is really simple in SQL. All I have to do is to limit it to 5 records. So it just give me the top 5. And there we go. So that is a really nice way of sort of having your high scores and meeting the needs of the project. If you are doing it through CSV files, which I've shown you, then you're going to have to sort things into order and then work out how you're going to return the top 5. But with a database or a table, the actual SQL is pretty straightforward. However, the coding that goes with it in Python is less straightforward. So let's just take a look at this before I finish. We could, let's rerun that one and get all the items back. We could have a where clause in, oops. Let's do select name score from high score where score is greater than 100. Well, in fact, let's make it 200. So I'm only pulling up the 200 club. But I am now using the relational operators to make it work. Oh, that didn't like that one. There we go. Where the score is greater than 200. Or we could pull back all the ones which were less than 200. But we didn't exactly manage the ones which were exactly 200. And there we go, so elite was 200. So we've got relational operators that we can use. We could find all the ones that weren't equal to 200 at all. So the only one not in there, that means not equal to 200. So everybody but the one who scored 200. So elite 200 should not appear in here. Job done. And again, it's just easy enough to order by score descending, limit to 5. And writing a query to manage this data is pretty quick and really simple. If you are interested in the project work and using Python itself, so that you are using SQLite, then I will produce a few videos, which will probably be longer than this series, to actually let you understand how this works. Before I go there, one thing I want to say is that this word cursor is used a lot in databases, and all it means is which record am I currently looking at. And if you can see here, got a little arrow saying that the cursor is on the first record, and we can move the cursor down the records, first record, last record, and it's kind of like iteration. When we're going through our program, we need to run through all of the records. So what this does is just sets the cursor to the start. So we've got the user database, we connect to it, you've seen what connect does, and then we set the cursor to be the very first one in the line, then we run the query, and then we use a function called fetch all, which would go through each one in turn and fetch that item. So I just wanted to point out cursor before I left you, but that really is for project work and not for exam based work. So you should have seen everything for the exam now.